Welcome back to the Aussie Prepper channel and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to again talk first aid kits. Now I have spoken about first aid kits in another video previously and I will link that video down below for you, but this video is expanding on that video. So today we're going to be talking about 5 things that are missing in every single first aid kit that you buy in the shop or that's commercially available, or even your work first aid kit, your OH&S first aid kit. They are all missing these 5 things that I'm going to be talking about today, and I personally believe those 5 things are probably more important than all the other stuff that's in your first aid kit. So let's get stuck into it. Number 1 is the medical stapler, and this is it here. It's a little stapler that you can use to staple serious cuts closed. Now this is what I spoke about in my last video, and I have had people comment saying, oh, who's going to hold still while you staple them together? When you're using this, the person is dying or seriously injured. They're not going to care about some staples. That is the least of their problems. At this stage, it's life and death. And at that stage, you can bring out this stapler and you can staple these cuts shut and maybe stop the bleeding and maybe save someone's life. And like I said in the last video, I don't ever want to use this, but I don't ever want to be in a situation where I need this and I don't have it. That would be worse. And these can be bought off eBay and a lot of other places for $10, $15 each. You just have to shop around a bit in your local area. Search medical stapler or vet stapler on eBay or Amazon or wherever you buy your stuff, and these will come up and you just order the amount that you need. Now I recommend that you have one of these in every car that you own, and also that you have one of these at home in your home first aid kit, in your workshop first aid kit, and also in your work first aid kit. So if your workplace does not have one of these in their first aid kit, show them my video and get them to buy some of these and add them to the first aid kit. Cheap insurance, but like I said, you don't ever want to be using this. But what would be even worse is not having this when you need it. Now the second item that every first aid kit must have but doesn't is a tourniquet. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that 100% correctly. These again can be bought off eBay, Amazon and all different places for $10, $15 each, maybe $20. If you shop around, I got 5 of these recently delivered to my house for $40, and this is one of them. Again, one of these in every car that you own, in your home first aid kit, in your work first aid kit, in your shed first aid kit. Every first aid kit that you have should have one of these in it, and you should have first aid kits in all those places. The third item, which I think is very, very important to have in your first aid kit that no first aid kit has, is medical adhesive. Now I looked at buying some medical adhesive for all my first aid kits quite a while back, and the prices are absolutely ridiculous. They're out of control. As you can see here, a box of 10 is $164.45, and I've got another one here which is also a box of 10 which is $160, and these were the cheapest ones I could find. There's actually some that charge way more than that. Now if you want to spend the money on that and you've got the means to do so and you feel more comfortable within yourself doing that, I would recommend buying any of these and adding them to your first aid kit. However, I think the price is outrageous, and I'm not suggesting you do the same, but I went to Bunnings and I bought this. This is literally less than $2 at Bunnings for the whole pack of 6. Now, I do not recommend that you do what I did, but I'll leave it up to you. I'm not a medical expert, but I believe this does the same job. I've bought a few of these at $2 a pop, and I'm going to put one of these packets in each first aid kit. Now, if you just want to add those things to your first aid kit, that would be a great start. Total cost of all that is less than $30 per first aid kit. If it saves your life or someone else's life, it'll be worth every cent. You don't want to be caught short when you need this stuff. I can't emphasize that enough. Imagine the regret that you're feeling when someone that you know or family member has died or suffered serious injury and you left your first aid kit inadequate by saving $15 not buying one of these. It is just not worth it. You can't afford not to have this stuff in your first aid kit. Now, I've got two more things that personally I like to have in a first aid kit, and I'll explain to you why. The first thing is a head torch. Now, I use these head torches here from Energizer. You buy these at places like Bunnings, you can buy these at Coles, you can buy these at Woolworths. Most shops sell these for less than $10. I think these are $9.90 or something at Bunnings. They come with the batteries, they come with the strap, they're ready to go. They're just made to light up your working environment. So you can just put this on and you can see what you're doing right here in front of you. If it's dark, or there's bad lighting and someone's got a bad cut, or you need to look after someone, you can put this on and you've got light in your work area for almost no cost. These are $10, less than $10, come with two batteries. The batteries store for 10 years. I recommend not storing the batteries inside the unit. To some people that might seem counterproductive, but I have actually ruined one of these by leaving the batteries in it, and the batteries leaked while they were inside the light, and I've actually thrown the light out and I've had to buy another one. So from now on, I will keep the batteries out of the unit, which will take a little bit more time to get the light working. However, the light will work. The light where I left the batteries in it was ruined. It no longer worked, even with fresh batteries. I had to throw it away. So you don't want to be in a situation where you put the batteries inside the light and then when you need it, it doesn't work. You can keep that in the packet like that, and that will store for 10 years, and that will work. And if the batteries do leak at some stage, you will be able to see it. So you can visually inspect the batteries and make sure they're good. If they haven't leaked, they're good, they're working. Another thing you can do, you can use a marking pen to write the date on the back there, when it was put in the first aid kit, and after 10 years you can replace it or just replace the batteries. Like take it out of the packet and replace the batteries. The other good thing is if you've got one of these in your car, in your first aid kit, if you break down at night, you need to change your tyre, well, you can use it. However, just remember to put some extra fresh batteries in your first aid kit to go with your light. The batteries in this run for 9 hours, so you won't have any problems about running out of batteries or lighting in an emergency situation like a car accident or anything at all. And it's easy enough. If you feel like you need more batteries, you can just get another 2-pack or 4-pack of these batteries, and again they store for 10 or 12 years depending on which ones you buy. And the final item that I recommend you add to every first aid kit is some sort of multi-tool or knife. So you can just have a knife like that, which will be very useful for cutting seat belts or cutting bandages or cutting anything that needs to be cut. So you should have a knife, or the other option is a multi-tool like a Leatherman. I'll leave it up to you. You make a decision, you think about it, and you see what you need. Would you prefer just having a plain knife like that? And this is a Mora knife or Mora knife or whatever they call them. I'll call them a Mora knife. And these are less than $20 to buy. And these are brilliant knives. Best value for money knife you can buy, I reckon. Hard to beat for the price for what you get. Solid blade, perfect grip. It's a beautiful knife. You can add one of these to your first aid kit for around $20. And it might just save your life. And again, this will come in handy for other things. If you know you've got this in your first aid kit, then you might even find other uses for it. However, make sure it does go back in the first aid kit and just doesn't get misappropriated into other places. Now, if there's anything else that you can think of that's a must-have in the first aid kit, Leave a comment down below, let the discussion begin. I always get lots of comments on my video, which I really enjoy. I love seeing comments, the more the better. And if you enjoyed today's video and you found it interesting, useful or helpful, do me a favour, give me a big thumbs up and don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more videos from Aussie Prepper. Thanks for watching and bye for now.